What's up, everybody? Brett Mixer Madness here for the Monday Night Raw. We'll review Monday Night Wars Week 59. This was the 187th episode of Raw in its history on the USA Network from the New Haven Coliseum in New Haven, Connecticut. This Raw took place on December the 2nd, 1996. Ratings for Raw were a 2.3, and then for Nitro, a 3.4. So the WCW wins for a 23rd week in a row. So now after this week's loss, the total scoreboard is 17 wins for the WWF RAW, 40 losses to Nitro, and 2 draws. That's through 59 weeks. 17. So only 17 of these 59 weeks did WWF win. Not very good, but at one point, unbelievably, it was 17 wins, 17 losses, and 2 draws. But then Raw has lost 23 weeks in a row, so now it's 17, 40, and 2. We open the show with Flash Funk's complete entrance. We don't get a Raw theme. We don't get the World Wrestling Federation for 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment. We don't get that. We don't get anything. We just see the Raw letters and pyro going off a little bit for Flash Funk's entrance. McMahon thought this Flash Funk entrance was going to be some epic, he always wants the shot, and you could tell McMahon loved this. He was grooving, and he was like, shake your booty. And he was just like, shake, and he was just singing. And then Tracy and Naomi, I think he said the names were the Funkettes. They came on in the apron, and McMahon was just like, yeah. It was cringeworthy, but it was funny still. Funk is a good worker. Too Cold Scorpio, as we all know, takes on the Goon to open the show, because that's the match everybody wants to see. 2 amazing gimmicks going at it here. Flash Funk jumped by the Goon, and they cut to a split screen with HBK interview, which is probably a good thing if you don't want viewers tuning away once they see the Goon take on Flash Funk on Monday Night Raw in prime time. This is your opening match. And then they say that they're going to cut to HBK eventually with an interview. Funk with a moonsault to the outside and a guillotine leg drop off the top. Funk with a headlock on the Goon and stretching the arm for an armbar. Funk worked over the arm the whole match, but the Goon caught control for brief moments. He pressed Funks to the corner, and then he hit him with a big splash and a side suplex after a big leap. 2 leapfrogs for the back and forth of the ropes, and then a clothesline. The Goon wrestling in the boots, which are like hockey skates. Funk, also known as Scorpio, with great athleticism, hits a side suplex and goes for a 450 splash on the Goon, hits it, and gets the victory. So I rated the match a star as Funk defeated the Goon at 5:55. Up next, we got Diesel. Diesel, I'll do it on this side because of the thing. This is what I said. Diesel, you know who he is. He's Glenn Jacobs, but he's facing Phineas Godwin. So it should be a good Powerman's match. Kane versus Phineas. It's pretty much, it's Phineas Godwin versus Diesel, so it's Kane versus Midian. The future Kane versus the future Midian. That's what it is. Phineas Godwin tries to come at Diesel. Phineas weighed a lot more, obviously, before this. And Diesel was young. I hate calling him Diesel, but he's the new Diesel. I'm not going to say fake Diesel every time I say Diesel, so that's why I'm just going to say Diesel. He hit him with a sidewalk slam, did Phineas Godwin. Diesel off the ropes, get a reverse elbow to the jaw, and then he went sternum first into the corner. A side suplex by Phineas Godwin in a battle of the power wrestlers, as I mentioned. Razor, then the fake Razor. So Razor comes to the ring as Phineas Godwin hits another reverse elbow off the ropes. Slop drop coming, and Phineas Godwin knocks Razor off the apron. A kick by Big Daddy Cool, and then he lifts up Phineas Godwin and jackknifes him to the canvas and gets the victory after the fake Razor. Well, I guess I will say the fake Razor. Then I don't have to do the stupid hand movement. So the fake Razor wins. The fake Razor gets the win. Sorry for the fake Diesel. The fake Diesel wins at 3:43 after the fake Razor interfered. I gave it. See why I don't like saying the fake, because it's over abundance. Diesel gets the win here at 3:43. I'm pretty sure everybody knows it's not Kevin Nash, so that can be fine. I rated the match as a 1/4 of a star. I think that's sufficient for that match. HBK got a promo backstage apologizing for not being defensive enough last week. He said McMahon called him defensive during his interview, and he says, "I'm sorry for not being defensive enough." And he said he cut a promo on Sid and the fans at the Rumble in the Alamo Dome in his hometown in San Antonio, Texas, how there'll be 70,000 screaming fans, and he's going to become WWF champion again. He says he's not ashamed to bring his skeletons out of the closet, and if he thinks being a bad role model, he's got piercings and tattoos. He says that if bringing your skeletons out of the closet makes you a bad role model, then hey, I'm a bad role model. HBK says he's not politically correct, but at the end of the day, he's a man's man. That's exactly the thing that McMahon was trying to put over in his serious voice last week. I gotta stop doing this. Jesus. Apologies. Justin Hawk Bradshaw with Uncle Zebekiah took on Double J Jesse James. Justin Hawk Bradshaw, so this is the Road Dog. This is, I like to say, the future characters, right? So this is the future Road Dog versus JBL. But it's Justin Hawk Bradshaw with Uncle Zebekiah. Bradshaw with a knee to James. A hip toss is blocked. Both men for a hip toss, and they both blocked it. Off the ropes, a leapfrog, a duck clothesline, and then let's go rights. The way he does those fast rights, the Road Dog. So, but here is Double J Jesse James. He ducks a clothesline by Justin Hawk Bradshaw, who's got that powerful clothesline from hell. James with a boot to Bradshaw and then a boot to the face. An elbow drop as Uncle Zebekiah is happy on the outside. An Oklahoma roll to Double J by Bradshaw, as McMahon calls it amazing maneuver pinning combination. That's an Oklahoma roll and it got a kick out. They say next week it's going to be Undertaker versus Mankind, no holds barred, so that should be good. They also advertise next week Sid versus Triple H, World WWF Champion versus IC Champion, non-title. Bart Gunn versus Goldust. And I believe Bret Hart in an interview. So there's a lot of things next week. Jesse James, this Raw was really lacked, if you can't tell. Jesse James knocked Uncle Zebekiah off the apron. Oh, yeah, and Jesse James takes on Uncle Zebekiah and Bradshaw in a handicap match. So there's a lot of things next week. Zebekiah gets involved in the finish here, and a clothesline from hell by Justin Hawk Bradshaw wins it for Bradshaw. 5:58, I rated it a star. Jake the Snake Roberts and the Wildman Mark Mero with Sable take on Hunter Hearst Helmsley and Billy Gunn. Jake the Snake Roberts with a hip toss and a high knee to Billy Gunn. Jake the Snake in the ring having the fans chant DDT, while on a split screen, the 2-on-1 is Jesse James saying he wants a 2-on-1 with Zebekiah and Bradshaw next week. So we'll have to see. Helmsley's in trouble as Jake the Snake takes in the Wildman. Hunter takes out, and then Gunn comes in and steps outside, and they have a minute to talk. Helmsley and Billy Gunn do. They talk about their opponents on the outside. Then Gunn decides to go back in the ring. Mero stays with the bad arm and takes in Jake the Snake as they work away on the arm together, double teaming it. Jake the Snake and Triple H comes in now, and Mero tags in once Triple H does, so you can have, I believe it's Mero versus Triple H in your house. It's time, so they're sort of previewing that. Jake the Snake with the gun now as he was tagged in and gets a hammerlock, a triangle body scissors. The fans chant for a DDT. Gun with the back body drop to Jake the Snake. They advertise next week a ton of material. Jake the Snake then gets a DDT and a hot tag to Mero, who drop kicked Helmsley and then Gun off the apron. Gunn inadvertently argues with Triple H as they hit each other on the apron. Now Gunn is distracted. Mero then lays out Hunter. Mero with a Samoan drop to Triple H. Mero goes up top for the wild thing and hits it. Mero pins the IC champion Triple H in this tag match at 11:19. Jake the Snake and Mero with the wins. 2 stars. That's the match portion of the show. After the match, Jake took out the Python, the snake, and put it on Helmsley. As King said, "Get it away from me, McMahon." And then to end the show, they advertised Taker Mankind, no holds barred, next week on Raw. So this episode scores a quality rating of 4 out of 10 because it featured average to below average matches. No Stone Cold, no Undertaker, no WWF Champion Sid, no Vader, no Owen, no Brett. That really hurt, and no Shawn Michaels in the ring. That really hurt the show. They get better as they go into 1997, but this 1996 episode really lacked. Yeah, and speaking of that, no Sunny. This Raw really had the low mid-carders and just average matches as a whole. So just 4 out of 10 this week. We'll see if they improve next week Well, I'm sure they will, with Sid versus Triple H and Undertaker Mankind, no holds barred. So tune in for next week's Raw review, as I'm sure that'll be more interesting. I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out.